What's up, guys? Going to be doing another trade review today, and today's trade review is for March 30th, 2023. And like always, I just want to remind everyone that I am a flag trader slash a pivot break trader. Basically, those are two continuation patterns that I like to trade, and I look for those patterns on the 15-minute, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour. And yeah, so that's my strategy. I play the breakouts of those patterns, and yeah, today was a pretty unfortunate day in the market, very choppy and not much direction at all. And usually in those types of markets, my strategy does not do very well. And overall, this week has been very difficult in terms of clean direction because a lot of the direction, as you can see, has been happening during pre-market. So you can see a beautiful flag set up on SPY right here, plenty of direction, tight range, and then a clean break to the upside. If this sort of setup happened during market open and in intraday, this would have been very lucrative for me. But unfortunately, as you can see, this is the kind of price action we got during market open, so it's very unfortunate. So yeah, let's go over it. I had two trades today, both of them ended up failing, unfortunately. So let's get into why I think that they failed. First up was Nvidia. And as I was maneuvering my way throughout the day, I was looking for setups, but nothing really seemed directional. And in reference to the choppy day, the only directional thing that I saw was maybe Nvidia here. However, in hindsight now and reviewing now, you can see that this is very wicky in relation to the direction, quote unquote direction that it has, right? This is quite literally like 2.5 points of direction almost, while the wick itself is pretty much like almost 2 points of direction itself. So when you have like 1.5, when you have such big range on a flag, it's just not a good idea to trade it because more than likely it's just not going to follow through. You want to see direction, tight consolidation, and then a push. This is not tight consolidation. This is very rangy consolidation, and there were a lot of warning signals on the 5 minute as well. Like you can see this huge knife happening as soon as it gets up to this level. So essentially, this is basically like a recipe for disaster, and I still ended up taking the trade because I was a bit frustrated in what I was seeing in the price action, and that happens from time to time, and yeah, I just ended up in a failing trade. Took an L right here. I entered right here at 11:10. Got out at 11:20. Took an L on that, and rightfully so. I should not have taken this setup. I need to be more aware with the setups that I should be taking versus the ones that I was taking today. But yeah, so yeah, that covers Nvidia. Not very good at all. It has a little bit of direction, but the range is too wide, and this is not something I like to see. But yeah. Moving forward, the next trade that I took was Amazon. This one was a little bit better looking of a setup, but as you can see, there's not like clean direction attached to it. I thought that this consolidation was very nice, and I thought that we could get a pop here for 103 or even higher than that, but unfortunately that was not the case here. And because of the context that was provided in the market and the lack of clean direction attached to this just ended up not going. But yeah, you'll have that from time to time where you have a decent looking setup and market context just does not want to be your friend and the setup fails. So this one wasn't as bad of an L, but an L nonetheless. So yeah, got in here at 12 and then ended up stopping out 10 minutes later when this candle started forming and closed like this. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. But yeah, what can you do? Just gotta kind of persevere through these days and make sure to keep the losses as tight as possible. But yeah, let's go over the tickers that I normally like to look at throughout the day and see if I missed anything on Google. So you can see not really much here. This does look kind of decent as an ascending wedge. Let me see how it looks on. It's a 30-minute. Let me go on the 1 hour. Jesus. Yeah, this actually doesn't look like a bad setup if this was attached with direction, right? Like this is the wrong type of direction. You want to see bullish direction, and then you want to see this type of consolidation for a pop. As you can see, that's what happened when I tried to pop here. Had this been attached to bullish direction, this would have been a beautiful setup to take, but I should not have looked at this as a setup, even in intraday, looking back at it now, because there's no clean direction attached to it, and it's just very close to view up. So yeah, that's Google, Apple. I was actually also looking at Apple for my third trade of the day, just to see if this could consolidate high and then break 162s, but didn't end up getting the break, most likely because of context as well. But yeah, nothing really else on Apple right there. Actually want to check the 1 hour on this real quick. The 1 hour actually does look good, but as you can see, it's it's going into pre-market, so more than likely you'll see this break in pre-market. Nvidia, we talked about this. QQQ, just a lot of tangling around with VWAP. A little bit of a decent setup here, but I would have been very hesitant to take it, knowing that there's supply here that exists, which is the result of the push down here. So actually not a bad setup, and had this formed earlier in the day, I would have liked this sort of pattern with this direction even. But yeah, just a lot of tangling around with VWAP right there. SPY, similar to QQQ in that sense, but just closer to VWAP. But yeah, just not a lot of clean direction, a lot of messy price action attached to it. Amazon we talked about. IWM really was not in my favor today, and it had this pivot break here, but man, I did not want to take something like this, considering the fact that it closed above VWAP and had this huge pop up. But it actually ended up working out nicely. But yeah, it's just unfortunate because as a pattern, as a setup, it just doesn't look that good. But yeah, sometimes, you know, the patterns that don't look good to you end up working out. But just gotta stick with what you know. I was looking at this consolidation as well on Tesla and thinking about taking it, but there was no direction attached to it. So since it wasn't in my system, I, you know, forced myself not to take the setup. It did end up giving, you know, a little bit of a green pop, but ultimately ended up failing like everything else today. But other than that, very choppy on the 15 and, you know, every other time frame. Finally, AMD, just very choppy price action, as you can see, like multiple crosses around VWAP, not movement in any direction. Just bad price action overall, at least for my strategy. But yeah, that pretty much covers all the tickers that I normally trade. Hopefully we can have a decent day tomorrow to end the week off okay. But yeah, this week has been pretty tough, at least for me and my strategy. But hopefully you guys are doing well. And like always, if you have any questions, you can always comment that down below. If you have any suggestions on how to improve the videos, you can leave that in the comments down below as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a good trading day tomorrow and end the week off strong. And I'll see you then. Peace.